welcome back to Norfolk and Saxthorpe Farms. And you might notice the yard looks a little bit different. Farms in Briscoe sent me an update to the map, which had the rest of the buildings for this yard added in. So when I was playing on it, there were some gaps in the yard, which have now been filled in. So we've got a few extra sheds. It did screw up my auto drive network because we have this shed, and I've done auto drive network which looped around here. So I've redone the auto drive network. I've moved the fuel tank over to here. This is a new shed as well, I think. I'm not sure. And then if we go over to the no, wrong way. Let's turn the map. There we go. Over this way to the old yards. These have been updated a little bit as well. So this one now has a bigger shed here, and a silo. So I think if I was starting from fresh again, I would have now maybe picked this farm. I do like the other farm as well, but I quite like the way this old farm is tucked away. We will be owning this at some point anyway. So yeah, that's that. There is also now, and I'm pretty sure I have it turned off because I was doing some stuff with auto drive. There is traffic on the map. So obviously on the main roads, and if we can stop one of these guys, there we go. We have traffic. Really cool. Between videos, I have also set up a big chunk of the auto drive. Well, not a big chunk, a small chunk of the auto drive network. I don't think. Maybe if I go into the show on the helper menu. No, basically what I've done is I've got a loop now which runs along here, down to the shop. You can see we've got a point there, up to field 21. So up here. A complete lap around the field, so two-way course around the field. There's a point that comes out here as well. There is an exit to the field. No, this goes into field 22 actually. There's a waypoint for field 21 here, and then you can cut through here, I think, as well. And then this first sell point we need is just there, so I've added that in as well. In the last video, in the last video, so in episode 2, which you guys haven't seen yet because I'm still a little bit ahead, I asked about taking out a loan. I mean, dollars. Jeez. Oh, that means I probably recorded Maypole in dollars as well. Put the time back to ×2. I put it to ½ because I was doing auto drivey stuff. I asked about, we're going to need fuel. Actually, there's a fuel station down here. We can use that. I asked about using a loan to get another combine to make the contract. So because some of the field textures might look a bit funky because I have swapped map versions. So I had to, because a bunch of stuff had changed with the buildings, I think there's an exit up here. I'm feeling less confident now. We'll go around this way. I had to, I couldn't just load the new map with the old save because some of the building indexes and stuff had changed. So I had to create a new save and then drop my old one on top of it. And it's just made this harvested field texture a little bit weird. Yeah, nothing too major, nothing that particularly bothers me. It was something that I went into this completely aware of, that there'd probably be at least one or more map version changes. It's one of the things with playing on an in-development map, but it does mean that you guys get to see, oh, I forgot there's traffic. You guys get to see more of the map than just a map tour. You actually get to see it played, which I think is good. Not everyone seems to agree with that, but you know, everyone is entitled to their opinion. But I feel that you know, I think it's quite cool to see a map being played early a little bit. It gives you a bit more of a feel for the map than someone just driving around it for 10 minutes. Speaking of other maps I have previewed, so actually, by the time this comes out, you guys will have seen probably, but Glenleithan is now on King Mods. That's something that apparently Cavalier Roy did with his previous maps, and it's basically a way of community sourcing testing. So if you want to grab yourself Glenleithan, go get a copy of King Mods, basically. It's yeah, it's kind of cool. It resolves some of my dilemmas in the last couple of Maypole or Farming the Decades related videos, which is what I've rebranded that series to, where Perfectly Illegal Maneuver, where I was worrying about this van is apparently quite famous around here, from Farms in Briscoe's Discord. He's a bit of a nutter. Don't worry, I'll go round you. Yeah. I can see traffic not lasting very long. I'm not a big fan of playing with traffic on, so. Right. We need to borrow the money and buy the other combine. So I did the poll because I wanted to record this video before the next one comes up, and it's actually the easiest way to genuinely get some feedback. So we are going to take out another 190,000, and we're going to do that over 2 years, I think. So £8 a month, or maybe not, 4 years. That's better. So we're up to 11 grand a month in loan payments, and that's why I'm not just maxing the loan out. So actually, I don't even have store delivery, so I don't need to make sure that it's reset. Right, we're going to buy a pretty much identical version. Can we do? We can. This is a little bit of a meme from when I made a typo back on Ormsden. There we go, disturbed. Okay, and then we're going to do. We're just going to get the grain header for now. I can see it being worth us getting the corn header as well. When we get into doing those, it's quite a lot of cash, so might not. The pallet forks are up at the store because I had to reset them, because when I loaded in with the new buildings, they were underneath one of the buildings. So one of the questions that I asked in episode 1 was about buy points for seed and fert and stuff, and the only response I had was positive, so probably are going to stick those in once we need them. The other thing I'm going to buy while we're up at the store is, now I have 2 options. I can go Deutz, which we should. I can go old Z-Tool. These are really nice. Yeah, if I wanted to be 17, right, I think we're going to go old Z-Tool. And I think we're going to just go for, like, we just go for that one? Or do we go for a bit more grunt, 55 horsepower versus 7? No. We're at Deutz Farm. We don't need the weight on there. I'm not going to get the front loader attached yet. I'm going to buy that one as well. There it is. And okay, my character is reset. We need to fix that. I'm going to send that off. Right. I've still got speed mode and flight mode on from just showing you guys the updates to the map. So turn those off and get stuck in. I'll get this over to the field, and I'll see you there. Okay, we are somewhat set up, so let's set auto drive up first. So the Deutz is on it, the big Deutz. The 7250 is on its way over to cart for us. You can see there it comes. So field position there, position there. Okay. Complete disregard for hedges, like your style, sir. Field position, Bosch, create course. So we're gonna have two tools. We're gonna do two, I guess, four headlands. Smooth field center. I'm going to do plans. See if it can generate a course off of that. That corner bit's going to be on it. It's got it. Awesome. Yep. That works for me. Right, field combine, one left. First waypoint. Copy course. Off we go. Just check. Actually, it's in course plate settings. Combine settings. Straw swath. Deactivated. Copy right. First waypoint. Setting. Straw swath. Deactivated. Go. Why? Oh, you're not dropping straw anymore. Okay, cool. Alright. And let's set auto drive for him as well. Fields. There we go. So. Should be good. The Deutsch is just coming back. And I'm going to leave these to basically get on with this. It's going to take them quite a while. 3 hours, so 6 hours in game. So what's that? 9 p.m. in game at least. So we might finish this in the next game day. I might just let them run into the dark. That's that sorted. Right. Time to jump in this far. And I've realised I should have put narrows on this. So this is going to be our crop scanning tractor. But it came with a free set of narrows. Awesome. Right. And then we are actually going to need to put down those buy points, because I'm going to need some liquid fertilizer, I think. Go. The old and the new together. Obviously, I could, if I had more tractors, be prepping field 5, but we don't, so I can't. But, right. And then one. Generating, of course, this is going to cost a bit, actually. In terms of field scanning, but needs doing. It's hopefully going to get set up. So we need to jump in this tractor. This is one of the new sheds. I'm going to drop the front loader off. I know that's incredibly unrealistic, but it's one that I try and avoid endlessly attaching and detaching front loaders. But for this job, we don't really want a front loader, so awesome. This comes with 3 narrows as well. I like this. Right. Get hooked up. I forgot we went for the Kubota one rather than the Cavernland one. Awesome. I will have to wait for the first field to actually be scanned, but you know. Right, so let's go into construction mode. And is it containers? Yeah. So seeds, lime, and herbicide. So we need 2 of them. How big are they? We don't really. Oh, could I fit them both? No. Don't really fit with the farm there. But I think those all can go with. Do I have an area I can fit 2 next to each other? I want them to be auto-drivable as well, so I think what I'll do is 1 there. So that's seed, lime, and herbicide, and then liquid and solid fur we will put there. Awesome. So I'll add those to the auto drive network at some point. Just makes it much easier, obviously, to get filled up. Especially because we're going to be using so much like lime and fertilizer and stuff. There we go. All right. I'm going to wait for Courseplay to get that field scanned, so I will be back. Just hopped over to the field, and the first combine has been emptied and the second one is just being emptied, so seems to be working okay, he says, somewhat not confidently. So shame Courseplay doesn't get itself going again. I don't think I have pause to unload switched on. Let me just check. Stop while unloading. Deactivated. So nope. I was going to do a nice arty shot, but I forgot the style of video that I was making. So yep, they are making progress, which is cool. And the Deutz is actually holding a decent amount, so that's quite cool as well. I think I want to set it to, I'm sure that it's on about 90% to go unload. Yeah, 85%. Cool. All right, I'll be back in a bit. Still waiting for the crop scanning to finish, but the Deutz has its first trailer full of oats, so it's off to the sell point. So let's see if this bit of the course works, and they're just finishing the first headland by the looks of it, which is quite cool. Second combine is very full. So hopefully, and it's not far to the sell point, so shouldn't be waiting too long. Nice thing is that Deutz is quite the 7250 is quite a quick track. I was not used to having so much Deutz equipment. There are 5 bits of Deutz equipment on Simple Inspector because I've left the AgroStar running, which was a bit dumb because it's just burning fuel. Yep, that's going to work. Awesome. Right. Let's actually jump over to the AgroStar and switch it off. And you can see here the D60, D52, sorry, working its way through the field. That's quite a view. That's quite a view. Obviously sampling between the sunflowers. Not too much left to go on this one by the looks of it, so I'm going to leave this to it. So Courseplay had pretty much finished. I've taken over because there's just a couple of little gaps in the field and the corners to do. And I do actually want to get the corners. No, I don't remember. B. It's been a while since I've done soil sampling myself. So this bottom corner needs doing, and then the 2 top ones, and then we can get stuck into some spraying, and I'll set Courseplay off with this one. So I did say field 5 I think we could be ploughing. We obviously don't want to plough that. It's got our field of corn in it. It's field a number I can't remember. Field 8. We also need to plough field 9. I am not going to harvest the potatoes, I have decided, because I think I said I wasn't going to lease kit. I don't remember, actually. But I do remember I said I wasn't going to lease it for contracts. I wasn't going to use the contract equipment, which is why we've bought the second combine, to be more effective in contracts. But I still don't think, for depending on the condition of the field, that we'll get a crop that's going to warrant certainly buying a harvester. You know, the cheapest harvester. I don't want to use the KS6B that I'm using on Maypole. So we're looking at 200 grand for a harvester, and even if we get one in the sales at like 100, don't think it's worth it because it's not in our crop rotation. So crop rotation is oats, soybeans, corn, sunflowers, and sorghum. So it's not a crop that we actually intend to grow at the moment on the farm. I will expand that crop rotation as we have more fields. So at the moment, the crop rotation is 1 more crop than we have fields. I'm kind of hoping that I'll be able to pick up another field in the winter. The oats and the straw of the previous harvest are worth about 80 grand. So by the time, you can see the other field, by the time we've harvested all of our crops, I think we'll have enough to buy another field. And I'll use, so everything, pretty much everything that we're harvesting this year, we should be able to sell over the winter, I think. So little missed of that corner, but I am going to get it anyway. About 7 grand's worth of soil samples. Oof. But we didn't send off that last one, so we'll send that as well. Prices. So we've got sunflowers, which peak in March, and corn in Feb. So yeah, kind of before we would do spring planting, we were able to pick up another field. So spring crop would not be out of the question. Out of the field here. I have not set field 5 up. So I'm going to drive around there and I'll be back to chat some more. So I've set it off in the potato field, actually. Set the potato field because I don't remember all the numbers. So I've got automatic application rate on. I did not look at what the state of the field was. So thankfully, lucky, the pH is okay, which shouldn't affect the harvest too much, if at all. We're about to fix the nitrogen. Actually, we've got a crop rotation bonus of soybeans into, which is amusing. So soybeans, corn, sunflowers. So is our harvest, and which is weird that it's giving a bigger bonus than, unless it's the other way around. Unless it's corn, soybeans. That better. 110, 115. 15, 15. I think that's better. We want the bigger soybean harvest. So, but that means we are going to get a good sunflower harvest off here. By the time we've applied some fertilizer, we will have a nice looking field of sunflowers to harvest come autumn, I guess. So let's get to work. Courseplay and auto drive seem to be working together really well, which is nice. And Courseplay, I think Courseplay is doing more soil sampling. So I'm hoping this is our biggest field, I think. So 10, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So the soil sampling for the other two fields should cost about what soil sampling this field cost, which is good because that means we'll have a little bit of cash left. The contracts actually will give us the kind of operating cash, I guess. So as I was saying, I hope that the income from, I need to move my chair, so there might have been a bit of backing noise. The income from the 3 fields that we have to harvest this year, I'm hoping will pay for another field that we'll pick up in about March. I'm probably going to put oats in it because that's a crop we won't have growing in our crop cycle. And that means it'll go oats, soybeans, and soybeans are really profitable, obviously. So that seems sensible to me. Haven't looked yet for a field. I guess we're looking at having about 300,000 to spend. So, I mean, it would make sense to go for, we could maybe pick 6 and 7 up. So we own this corner. That might be sensible. I think they're grass fields at the moment, but I would plough them in to be arable at the moment. I don't want to get into grass work yet. We will eventually, but at the moment, it's not something that I want to be doing. If we picked up 2 fields, I'd probably want to add another crop into the rotation. The other thing that I noticed is oats is our only winter crop. So everything else is spring planting. I had a quick play with putting in grass as a sort of cover break crop, and it didn't improve the yield on any of them. So we're just going to have fields sitting bare through winter. I might put OSR in. That gives us a tiny bit of nitrogen. It's really tiny. Giants are not very generous with that. So I might put that in. Might just leave them. So once I don't know yet. Yeah, we're just going to play the. I was going to try and predict where we're going next, but you know, who knows? So the harvest still has at least 3 hours. So in game that's 6 hours because I'm playing on 2 times at the moment. So I'm doing that because we only got 1 day in August rather than actually need to change it. I'm planning to have 3-day months and times 5 as how I'm playing. Yeah, so, and there's rain forecast for, there's a little bit of rain coming in the late evening, so we're not going to be able to combine into the night. I'm going to leave the bales in the fields till there's not that much rain coming, so they'll be fine. And there's no real seasons. So if there was real seasons, I would be getting them in a shed, but there isn't. So we're going to leave them. They'll be okay. Yeah, we'll get those bales picked up maybe in the next episode. I don't know. If we've got crops to harvest, I'll be focusing on harvesting crops. I don't know. Yeah, the harvest windows for corn and sunflowers kick in next month. They might not be ready next month because it depends what growth state they started in, but it should it'll be August or September. Sorry, October or September. September or October probably, I would have thought. So if they're not harvest ready next month, I'll be clearing the bales out of the field, getting the potatoes ploughed in because that field does need ploughing, so we'll get that done, and get the oats planted in there, and carrying on with the contracts. So we've got contracts are a little bit different, so because this is a fresh save, but we've got 4 harvesting contracts. Field 21 did crop up. There are some baling contracts, not doing those because we don't have grass working kit. There's a ploughing contract that we could do, so we could do ploughing contracts in the future. We do have the plough. Little tractor looks so funny. We do have options there, but just depends how much time we get ready. Those harvesting contracts are going to take quite a while to get through, so we will see. The other thing I was going to talk about is I don't have the crop sensors on any of my kit because they are expensive. Probably will in the future. I need to remind myself they don't affect every crop, I don't think. It's been a while since I looked at them. I need to go and watch my own tutorial again, but I don't think they affect every crop, and it's at this stage where you would apply it. So I might add them in the future. The other thing we don't have is spot spraying yet. That's another thing that in the future we'll pick up. But you know, some of these kind of small, you know, the crop sensors, the gain is so small that, particularly in year 1, it's just not worth it. You know, the lime is a big, the bad lime is, like the okay lime is a bigger factor than us applying what is essentially an extra 5 kilograms of nitrogen. Now, what you could do, not tested actually, is, I don't know whether it would work or not. No, I was wondering whether you could just drive around manually and just apply an extra plus 5 kilograms of nitrogen. But I don't know if it needs to move a growth state, and it needs to be in pretty much the last growth state for you to be able to do it. So, or close to the last pre-harvest growth state. So, I haven't looked at those crop sensors in a while because I kind of looked at them and decided they really weren't worth it. So, the gain is tiny. I do think that it's going to be worth us doing one more headland, which is going to be fun because I can't see where we've been at all. And we'll rely on precision farming managing the application for us. You see, we're really not using that much fert. So I went with liquid fert as an option because it is the cheapest per kilogram of nitrogen, depending on how, you know, with the huts that we've got. I don't know how the prices are scaled, but with base game prices, it's the cheapest per kilogram of nitrogen. So it's a cost-effective way of doing this. Yeah, so how are the other jobs? So the crop scanning in the other field is almost done, and the harvest is so far off being done. So I have got better contracts installed now, so we can bring up the details, and so far it's delivered a tiny amount. It's got to deliver another 200,000 litres, so that's like 11 trailers full. Again, long term, we'd want another karting tractor to run 2 combines, particularly if we were further away from the sell point. And I have installed, I don't know if you saw any of the shorts that I did, I've installed Red Cat's, more of Red Cat's mods. So, which are not those ones. I did not enable them. That was silly of me. And we have got the MB track, which I would kind of like to get as well. I added but didn't enable Red Cat's 6 and 7 series that came out last week that I did the shorts on, and they're quite cheap, which is why I enabled them. I think they're older models basically, so we could pick up an older 7 series for a bit less, because I think ours was quite a bit more than that version costs, so we might add the MB track to a different save. I really would like to use it though. That is off of DSA's. Is it DSA's Discord? Don't quote me on that. Go ask in my Discord and I'll post it for you. It's the same Discord as the Cedar came from, and there is a link for that on my Discord. Can't remember which one it was now. It's been up over a week, and it is now 29 degrees in here, so my brain is getting a little bit fried. It's $3 for that field, so not so bad. We'll finish running this headland, and then I'll move the crop scanner over. That'll be all the crops, all the fields scanned, and just a case of me cracking through getting all of them fertilized. Well, this one and the corn. Potatoes we're ploughing in, so we'll actually gain some nitrogen off of ploughing those in. How that would work with potatoes, I think you'd end up with a right mess with the actual potatoes under the ground. Should have gone a bit wider on that corner. I'm not a fan of spraying at this stage, because if it wasn't for the mini-map, I'd have no idea where I'd be. We will be kicking in GPS. I think we are running down to... No, a bit further to go before the end of the headland. I'm going to finish this headland up, and I'll be back. But I've done about half of the field area now. I'm playing about with headland mode and enhanced vehicle, and I've got it to try and auto turn at the end. It seems to be not detecting the headland end very well here. It still thinks it's got 40 meters to go. This turn might not go well for the booms. No, I'm going to stop this one. It worked really well the other end, where we've got a square end, but not so well for this end. So I'll just manually take over, because I can't see. No, go that way. Because I can't see where in the field lines are. I'm running by the row numbers on the HUD above the so this one, the HUD above the speedo. So, and I've set it so that it will do at the moment -1 row, so it should at this end hopefully work and turn to the left, get that little bit that's missed, and then we'll go across to the other side and get that done. The D52 is pretty much finished scanning the cornfield, so that's all the fields scanned. The potato field, I'm going to remember the numbers eventually. Field 9, I think, is the potato field. The potato field is about the same as this field for lime, and about the same as this field was for nitrogen. So ploughing that in will give us a little bit of a boost, and then probably sort it with solid and liquid fert. I don't think there's anywhere to buy manure on this map. I don't think. I'm not certain. Farms in Briscoe, if you're watching, feel free to throw in a comment. I might end up adding one up at the cow farm, so we'd have to drive up to the cow farm to buy it, but I think that might be a good thing for the future. So we now need to head to row 1. So we did row 0. Well, I did row 0. And we now need to head to row 1, and I'll change it to be +1 rather than -1 on the headland mode. I don't have a macro key for that, so it's right control numpad 4 and 6. So actually we are in row, I'm not sure which line is going to be that. Bung that on. We go, and then we'll do so right control and 6 so that we're on +1. And this should now, when we get to the end, if it can detect the end properly, it'll turn to the left. Quick check on the contract. So the combines are on to their second land. They haven't got completely stuck yet. They got stuck once down here in the corner, but otherwise they've been doing pretty well. And the this has just finished, so there we go. I'm guessing it's the same, yeah. So the pH is okay and the nitrogen is awful. So we'll get that sorted as well. Need to get that done today, just in case the crop is ready tomorrow. So it's going to be a late one for spraying. Just check the forecast. We might not get it done. So we've got until 8 p.m. until the rain comes in, and then we will have to shut everything down. So we can just about make our loan payment this month. But then we've got some contracts next month. Actually, I should remember, while we're here, before we go over, I want it on 3-day months. And so we're going to play on 3-day months and ×5. Might be that end up skipping a day or day or more here and there, or month even, once we get into the periods where we haven't got anything to do. That just means we can progress a bit quicker. I actually think I can increase that distance a little bit. Let me put it to 22. No, I can only put it to 20. Okay, we'll go for 20 then. So this should work for most of this now. I'm going to get this field finished up, and I'll see you over in the cornfield. Okay, so a fair bit of time has progressed. It's 6 p.m. I'm over in field 5. This has a similar level of nitrogen, but corn needs a heck of a lot. So we are applying 165 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare. So I'm not sure whether we might need to refill or not. I had to refill before I started. I hadn't realized that over there we can actually get straight into this field from our yard, which is quite cool. I need to do a bunch more auto drive work between videos again to start building that out a bit more. I did a little spur. I've labeled it wrong. I put field 8. Actually, it's field 10. I put a little spur up into field 10, but we don't need that. I'm going to delete that and do it properly. And I think what I'll do is I'll go up around here, join all of this up, because all of our fields have multiple entrances and exits. Do field 5 as well, so finish this bit. And we need to get over here because the other contracts deliver to here. Now, one of them is field 11, which is here, which is not so bad. Field 16, not so good. I hope there, it looks like there's a track that runs down there, so that might not be so bad. And then field 28 is all the way up here. So through September, we're going to be putting a lot of miles on the tractors, getting the carting done. It looks like we're going to go into debt overnight. So we now don't have enough to pay the loan. I might have to temporarily borrow like another 10 grand until we get some of these contracts done. The plan is to use the contracts to keep that flow going. And we need to build up enough to get through the months where we won't have contracts. So obviously through the winter there won't be contracts. We'll have our crops to sell, and it looks like we're going to get a fair excess of oats off of the field that we're doing at the moment. And then we've got 3 canola contracts, so it'd be quite nice in terms of cash. And we're still messing with the auto turn mode of enhanced vehicle. I know this tractor in real life wouldn't have maybe we've added GPS, I don't know. I just wanted to have a play with it. It's the first chance that I've really had to play with it, and if you put decent headland in, it actually works really well. It's really cool. It's making this, so it's, as I said earlier, it's like it's 29 degrees in here today. It's so hot, and it's making it much more tolerable as my brain slowly cooks. So one tank is empty. I don't know which one it is. Looks like it's the back, so the back tank is emptied first. I do love those indicators. I love the little detail like that. So yeah, it's almost like having a worker doing this. It's yeah, it's quite lazy. It's I just wanted to play with this mod basically, and I'm probably not going to show you me fertilizing this whole field because there's quite a lot to do. And I'm pretty sure we don't have enough liquid fert in. Just check on the harvesting contract. So they're working their way through it. Have delivered now. I think we've got about 9 trailers to go, and the trailer is almost full. So making good progress. The corn is better. It's certainly easier to see. The ground texture again is a little bit funny because of, you know, dropping my existing save over a new save. So that'll all sort itself out as we play through. Not expecting any more map updates. It depends how the testing goes with giants. So probably by the time this video goes up, the map should be with giants. I know I keep hitting that button. I want to hit that button. Thompson Briscoe was hoping to have it ready to send fairly early in the week. So yeah, it's, hope it passes fairly quickly. I'd say I should chat to him about it. I do expect it will fail at least once. I think, you know, realistically. So this map, we'll see it when I start playing fields. This map has multi-terrain angle, which both of us think, oh, you're turning the wrong way. Not sure why it did that, but that's why there's a human in the loop. Can I have, no, oh, I've screwed it up now. I want some lines. Yeah, I've really screwed that up. Oh well. Hit the wrong button. The downside of this GPS. There we go. Forwards. We'll do manual steering, I think. Thank you. Yeah, we don't think you can have multi-terrain angle on console, so it might be that there has to be a separate console version that doesn't have multi-terrain angle in it. I guess we'll find out as it goes through testing. So yeah, exciting times. This will be his first map that goes through ModHub, so he does have a Discord. I should remember to put the link for it down below. I think I've forgotten on the other videos. I'll try and remember. So yeah, I think at this point as well, we'll say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. I have no idea how I'm going to find that in the edit because I've recorded this in so many little chunks. Yes, okay, I will sort it out. A kind of a first world problem to have, you know. So today is Tuesday. So the DLC, new DLC released today. I've had a little look at it. Obviously, I think, I don't know when I'd ever use them, but I think the tractors are quite fun. I haven't enabled it on here, but I think the tractors are quite fun. I always liked, but never really used the riggy track tractors. It's, I say it so often with some of these little tractors the Giants released. If tractors like that had front loaders, so there's a base game on that I've used for contracts, but not actually for playing with the link track. This can have a front loader. It's 4-wheel steer. Really cool. If those little tractors, I mean, they're kind of funky shapes, so it would be weird, I guess, putting a front. Actually, nearly finished with this field. We might get this done, you know. It'd be kind of weird, I guess, to be able to mount a front loader, but yeah, I'd love more of those little tractors to have loaders on them for little yard tractors. One of the reasons I bought that little tiny, the something, I'll learn all the names eventually. We've got plenty of time to get familiar with the different tractors on here. Yeah, we'll probably hang on to that all the way through and upgrade it so that it's got the front loader on it. We might tune the engine up a bit because there is a higher horsepower engine option on there. Eventually, we will be buying the cow farm up here. So eventually we will need a yard tractor so it can go work up there in the long term. We will also need grass fields. So I'm guessing that we probably have to plant some grass fields up there. 7 and 8 down here, which we were talking about buying before, are grass fields, but I would turn them into crop. They're really good soil in them as well. I think that's my target for hopefully. If we check time saving stock check, really cool mod by one of my patrons. At the moment we've got 85 grand at best price, so that should be pretty cool. And we've got the sunflowers, which should get good yield, and the corn, which I haven't checked actually to see what it's saying for yield. We'll have a look when I've finished fertilizing it. I think it's going to be pretty good. Three more rows, 2 or 3 more rows, and we'll be done. Yeah, been a productive day or video. Right. I say this is going to get finished up next game day. It might take most of the next day actually to finish that, and then hopefully we can knock out these other canola contracts a bit quicker. The fields are not as big, so this is a can I get it saying there 25 hectares versus almost 30 for the other field, so it's basically the same, almost the same amount of land. Thinking that we better go get some more fur because we are not going to make the rest of the trip. So let's do that. I'll hold up as we go. I'll just put fur in the rear tank, I think. Right, my yard is just there. Come on. There we go. Yeah, considering how much nitrogen we've had to apply, it really hasn't costed that much. Would have made a recollection of which row we were on. Looks like that one. Looks like number 4. Right, let's go. Get this finished up. Yeah, hopefully I line it. Probably going to be like a little strip of shame, which I might leave because there's going to be such a small amount. In fact, yes, there is a little strip of shame just there. the map is actually showing fully fertilized, so we might have got away with that. I'll leave this full of we're not going to need to do any herbicide for a long time, so I'll be fine. We will need to do herbicide because I'm not going to plough the fields that don't need ploughing. We can direct drill into them, I think, so we'll get the environmental bonus off of that, because at the moment our environmental score is awful, and this might help bring it up before we sell crops. So that's that job done. Let's just jump out and have a look at this field now. So yeah, pretty much the same. Got a good crop rotation bonus as well, so we're going to get good yields off of both of these fields, which is going to really help. Switch those off. So yeah, I'm not going to hang around until basically until it gets too wet to finish harvesting. I'll just keep doing that in the background while I build up the auto drive network a bit more. So yeah, I'm going to say thanks for watching, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Any comments, questions or suggestions, stick them below, and I will see you next time on Saxthorpe Farms.